The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are simply that, opinions. All are presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Sensitive topics are discussed. Discretion is advised.
It was the biggest trial of 2025 and the most divisive in court TV history. It ended with hundreds of supporters cheering a not guilty verdict outside the courthouse as Karen Reed came down the front steps. The jury said prosecutors did not prove that she struck John O'Keefe with her SUV despite the broken tail light. Well, now that tail light has been fixed and the famous black SUV is ready for auction. Who would buy it and how much would they pay? Meanwhile, in the same courthouse in Massachusetts, Brian Walshe enters, the husband now accused of murdering his wife, Ana, a devoted mother who vanished without a trace on New Year's Day. Prosecutors say his internet searches, his movements, and the bloody evidence found in their home reveal a chilling, calculated plan. Walsh admitted getting rid of her body, but claims she just died and he did not kill her. The defense insists the case is circumstantial, that almost every clue can be misinterpreted. But the jury sees the photos, hears the experts, and feels the weight of 3 children left behind. As testimony unfolds, one question hangs in the air. Why would a man dispose of his wife's body if she died of natural causes? But first, in an Oklahoma college town, the community was shaken when beloved teen athlete Jesse Butler was accused of a campaign of sexual violence against 2 teenage girls. He pleaded no contest to 10 rape-related charges and violating a protective order, while victims described terror no one their age should know. Video, medical exams, and phone records painted a devastating picture, yet families wept when the sentence came. Under the youthful offender law, Butler's 78-year term was suspended, leaving him free under supervision until he turns 19. Protesters erupted outside the courthouse demanding answers, and now Butler returning to court with more outrage from the public. We have the latest. I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. Great to have you aboard. You know, when we talk about what we lived through, a few years back is really when it really started to bubble up. It's probably like a decade ago, the Me Too movement. And it was a game changer, an eye-opener. I mean, completely transformed the way we looked at cases where women were the victims of either harassment, you know, in the civil sense, or sexual abuse, sexual assault in a criminal sense. And it was an awakening for the country, an awakening for our criminal justice system. Laws were changed, so offenders who previously would not have been subject were then able to be sued civilly and brought into court. And the criminal prosecutions got much more aggressive. You remember when all this was happening? I mean, Harvey Weinstein, destroyed by this. And it was conduct that people had been talking about and known about for years. But nothing happened until this movement exploded and exposed all of it. Now, he's got a retrial, but he has so many issues. It completely destroyed this man, and rightfully so, for the conduct that he was engaging in. I mean, Matt Lauer, the #1 man in television news, disappeared. And he wasn't even accused of criminal behavior. But he was gone. Devastating what happened. But time marches on. I don't know, things change a little bit. I'm not quite sure. Because now we're talking about Jesse Butler. This is a young man who committed criminal offenses, pleaded no contest to them, didn't dispute them, is convicted, and is basically walking away from all of this with 2 young victims. He's young also, I get it. That's part of the story here, the youthful offender status. But it outraged people because this was criminal behavior, and victims felt like there was no sense of justice here. Like, what is going on? How does he just walk around after engaging in this violent, abusive, criminal conduct. So, he was back in court today for a compliance hearing. And Erin Christie from Scripps News Group was there and has the latest from the courthouse, where people still not happy to see Jesse Butler.
Jesse Mac Butler was back in court. He's the Stillwater man who pleaded no contest to rape charges stemming from incidents when he was 17. Butler faced up to 78 years in prison, but ended up with no jail time. Typically, a compliance court hearing is not one that would generate a large crowd. But when it comes to the case of Jesse Butler, it's a different story. Protesters lined the streets demanding a larger investigation into the Payne County Court and DA's office.
Rape is rape, violence is violence, and it needs to end. And so does systematic corruption.
The review was just to make sure he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, including therapy and community service. Victims' advocates voiced concerns of protecting Butler by keeping court records sealed. Kara Carlson, a victim's advocate, says actions like that are a slap in the face to victims who testify.
They endured the trauma of reliving everything, and then it was swept away, and it was sealed up as if that was their form of healing, and it's not.
The judge agreed to unseal some documents, but kept information about his education and therapy sealed. Butler kept quiet as he left the courtroom, surrounded by reporters and protesters. In Stillwater, Erin Christie, 2 News Oklahoma.
Now, I want to give you an idea of what was happening at the courthouse today. There was some video that was recorded by Guerrilla Publishing, Ron Durbin, on Facebook. And it shows, and it's in the courthouse, you've got Butler going through security and being heckled, and people still upset with how this entire case transpired. Take a look.
Now, Jesse, why did you rape those girls, Jesse? Jesse, why did you rape the girls? Do you have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Do you have anything to say to the victims? Being loud is not a violation. Sir, do you have anything to say to the victims? Do you have anything to say to the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape them, Jesse? Why did you rape the victims, Jesse? Why did you rape those girls? Why'd you strangle them, Jesse?
Now, we've got more video of him leaving the courthouse today and is approached by the media.
Would you like to say anything about your plan or the accusations against you? How do you feel about all of these people here?
All right, let's bring in our think tank. Joining me in studio tonight, live, criminal defense attorney, former assistant state attorney, Miami-Dade County, former assistant DA in Atlanta, Georgia, Daryl Cohen, along with criminal defense attorney, law professor Meg Strickler, and the man behind the glasses, criminal defense attorney Josh Schiffer. Why do you think the reaction of the public was the way it was to this case? And there are other cases like this, but this one exploded. People angry, continue to be angry, sentenced to 78 years, suspended, youthful offender. Like, nothing's really going to happen to him.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. You know what?
What's going to happen?
I do think it's too lenient. I'm not going to say otherwise. I'm very upset about this case. But the good news is karma is going to come kick him in his behind. He will not remain compliant.
So you think he'll violate whatever the standards are?
100%, yes.
It's easy to, I don't want to say force a violation, but trust me, you look hard enough, finding violations ain't that tough. My bigger thing is this is just a betrayal. And everybody's been betrayed, so everybody's kind of rightfully bent out of shape about it. I'd be really upset if this was my community, if this was related to anybody that I was related to, because you expect justice, you get promised things, and then it gets ripped away in an arbitrary and capricious manner that you don't understand.
I don't like the fact that he didn't receive incarceration time. In fact, I hate the fact, but as long as he does the right thing now, the public will not need to get mad, they'll get even, because I sort of agree with Meg that he is going to trip and fall, and if he trips and falls, he's going to trip himself directly into incarceration.
So, in some of these cases, information is sealed to protect victims. This, it seems like things are being sealed to protect the defendant. That's the feeling that they have.
And that's more betrayal, because what the justice wants, or what the public wants, is transparent justice and accountability. They've been given a nibble of that. They know enough, but they're not getting the full measure, and it's the full measure that they demand, because people that do violent, horrific things to young girls should go to prison is the general consensus.
Exactly.
He's not in prison.
You see,
that's a betrayal.
You see these victims and the way the victims spoke. And then we have a video as well. This man has violent tendencies, has issues beyond issues. It is not okay. Now, the Youthful Offender Act in general, and it's a more common law kind of description, I think is a good thing. I think if you do slip and fall when you're a young person, you should be allowed chances. This is not that. This is sexual assault. This was digital penetration. 2 different women. And 2 different women.
And remember, when we have first offender, sorry, Daryl, when we have first offender, we don't let it happen on certain kinds of cases, like sex cases. We don't let you do you get one shot. It's not appropriate for the kind of charge. This would leave a lot of people real upset. And you oftentimes hear how the reason it worked out like that is to protect the victim. What happens to these victims during trials is sometimes as bad or even worse kind of than the crime, because it's reliving something that was already horrifically traumatic. Now they're doing it
well,
in
public. He didn't send him to trial. He didn't dispute it.
I know.
Which I think that's the least he could do.
That's step one in a process that he needs to undergo. And he needs to be under the microscope every minute of every day as long as he lives. And believe me, he will find that he made a major mistake. Whether he ever admits it to you, to me, to any of us, that's one thing. But he will find that he did. He'll find himself under that microscope. And I agree with Meg, he's going to trip and fall.
All right, so what's the impact now, right? Because that's a big part of this. Let's start, locally in this community, in these schools. How does this impact young men? How does this impact young women?
It empowers the men to do this again?
Absolutely, yeah.
And to videotape it?
He's a good guy. He didn't mean to do it. He made a big, bad mistake. You can't have that message.
Correct.
The message has to be, if you make a major crime happen because you did it, it needs to be punishment commensurate.
There are impacts on the extreme ends of the spectrum, and that's the problem. The empowerment, that's a huge message to a bunch of people that should not be receiving the message that, just like Daryl and Meg are saying, I can kind of get away with this. This is going to be acceptable. This is a slap and a tickle, and nothing bad happens. At the same time, because the judge in the court has sentenced him so incongruously with community values, everybody knows about this. This kid is never going to be able to get away from it, which is probably a good thing. And everybody in the community now knows, hey, you act like this, spotlight's going to be on you. And that's important, because so many people take these actions because they know a victim's never going to complain, because of the fear and control involved in these exact kind of allegations, where true victims never ask, never outcry because of that fear. And it's good that education.
Now, I think one of the reasons that people were upset from the beginning here is when he was arrested, people felt like he was treated a little differently. Let's take a look at that arrest video when they come to pick him up at his house.
Give me your wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay. Your what?
They're in the car.
Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah, so we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be there very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now, you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me.
You have to put him in handcuffs?
I
If we're asking to come transport somebody in custody.
You know we're going to win this. It's okay.
Do you have
Yeah. I'll get you out. For me? All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's on his way. We're coming to get you, okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay, so he's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yeah. Make sure she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police Department on Lewis.
Yeah.
Let her know that we're the ones that picked him up.
And when you say we are the ones.
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they don't think he went like straight over and he's over at the county.
Awful experience for the child.
Are you going to pass the email? Yeah. Make that chart. You're going to pass it down to spread your feet for me. Nothing in your socks.
That's Jess.
Now, some people criticize police before, and I want to put some context in this because there's a couple of ways I think you can look at this. Number one, we have seen so many videos where we're like, police inflamed the situation. Here, clearly, they de-escalated this to make it very calm and very safe for everyone. But on the other hand, people look at that and they say, I've never seen a police video like that before.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm just a little bit perplexed. I must have been living under a rock in the prosecutions that I've had, the defenses I've had in all of the jurisdictions. Never have I heard anyone charged with rape unless the circumstances were so unique that, you're just going to be in just for a little bit and you'll get a bond. Bonds are not normally granted easily on a rape charge.
Here in Georgia, you don't get out. You have to file a motion to set bond. You're in there for weeks, period.
If you're lucky.
Judge doesn't even have
the
jurisdiction to grant you bond.
Correct.
And I definitely see why a lot of people would view that video and go, whoa, that's showing clear favoritism for one of a variety of reasons.
Right.
My response to that is no, that's a perfectly wonderful, de-escalated, soft arrest, and a lot of arrests do look like that. The real problem is on bad officers and bad law enforcement that could have arrests like that and insist on using overarching violence and aggression.
To be fair, though, and there are times where the person being arrested is not complying as well.
100%.
Listen, every case I've ever had that has the word sex in it.
Yeah.
And it could be prostitution, could be the, the pandering, it could be the indecent exposure, which were all misdemeanors, a lot less. They are so mean to my clients.
Oh, yes.
They are manhandling them, and they can be 16 years old. They can be 17 years old. That is not what this case is. So
teenagers,
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah, teenagers get taught a lesson by law enforcement a lot of the time, and you'll even hear from the, oh, no, don't worry, I gave them a good, because they feel like they're almost parented. But it depends on your community, depends on your cops.
I'm just so disappointed in the fact that he was given a bond instanter, immediately, quickly. Don't worry about it. You'll be in and out. No big deal. Sorry.
Unrealistic.
Doesn't fly with me.
And plus, we are not mentioning it, but his skin color and his richness is what happened to him.
There's some assumptions you can get into that get real awful pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the big picture, and we only have a few seconds left here. I started this whole conversation talking about Me Too. Do you believe the pendulum has started to swing back in the other direction a little bit, and is that at all connected to what's happening here?
Yes and no.
That's how I feel.
Yes, I think it has swung back a little bit, and it probably needed to, but I don't think it has anything to do with this. I think this was a one-off. I think the judge was wrong. I think the entire system went bad. It was a fault that can't seem to be corrected.
That's why I think karma's going to happen.
Yeah.
They'll violate.
It doesn't matter how it's swinging. Your job as a defense attorney is to yank that pendulum off and beat people around the room with it till you win.
All right. Think Tank staying with us. When we come back, Brian Walshe, that trial's continuing. The last person to see Ana Walshe alive took the stand, plus her best friend also testified. We'll show you those big moments, plus coming up next hour.
Tonight on Vinnie Politan investigates. For years, bodies buried in the sand told a story no one wanted to believe. Women vanishing, their lives cut short, their secrets hidden along Gilgo Beach. Now, after the arrest of an accused serial killer, a second suspect has been arrested connected to two of the victims. How will this impact the upcoming trial? Tonight, we investigate.
The Court TV podcast will return.
And at some point, while Ana was working for you, she confessed that she had a crush on you.
She said that, yeah, maybe. I don't recall specifically those words coming out.
How about that? That's interesting. That is Jem Mutlu, who is the former boss of Ana Walshe. But Ana Walshe was leaving and was no longer working for him and was going down to D.C. for this incredible job that she landed. But it was New Year's Eve. And she knew and Brian knew that Jem had no place to go that night, so they invited him over. So he spent New Year's Eve with Ana and Brian and I guess the family, and he ends up being the last person not named Brian Walsh to see Ana alive. And he testified today. Let's show you some of the big moments.
She specifically told me, she said, I know you. You're not going to go anywhere for New Year's Eve. You're just going to stay at home. Please, please come and spend New Year's with us. I brought fruit and chocolate for the children, and yeah.
And about what time do you think you got to their home that night?
About 8:30. Ana came running out of the house to greet me. Yeah, that's what happened. Well, I opened the door, we hugged each other, and then she ushered me in.
Now, when you got inside, who was home?
Brian was there.
And where were the children at this point in time?
I was told they were sleeping.
What was Ana Walsh's demeanor that night when you were in their kitchen?
Festive. Very happy to see me, and yeah.
And I apologize, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's it.
What was Brian Walsh's demeanor like while the three of you were together?
He seemed fine. He seemed happy.
And so when we were looking at Exhibit 3, where were you seated as far as being around in the kitchen?
Ana and I were seated on the stools of the kitchen. And Brian was on the other side preparing the meal and serving us drinks and food.
Okay. Now, that night, did anyone join the three of you?
Yes.
Who joined the three of you?
Their oldest son.
And what happened when he joined the three of you?
He ran to me and he said, Jem, I haven't seen you in a while. I miss you. And he hugged me.
What did the three of you do with the champagne box?
We all signed it. Wow, 2022, what a year. And yet we are still here and together. Let's make 2023 the best one yet. We are the authors of our lives. Courage, love, perseverance, compassion, and joy. Love, Ana.
That night, did you see any injuries on Ana?
No.
Do you have any concerns about her health?
Physical health?
Yes.
No.
And that night, do you remember what Brian Walsh told you he had for income that year in 2022?
Yes. The gist of it was that it was $50,000 or $60,000 that I remember.
And that night, did he tell you about Ana's compensation that she now had at Tishman Speyer?
Yes, and I believe he said that it was $240,000 plus with bonus, it would add up to roughly $300,000.
What problems did you see between the two of them that night?
None. Nothing that was visible. It was a festive night.
And that night, what did Mr. Walsh tell you about his cell phone?
At some point, he said that he had misplaced his phone, and I remember this vividly, that he said that it actually felt refreshing to be away from the phone for a little while.
Did he tell you what time he normally goes to bed?
Yes, because I asked him, because it was getting late, and I didn't want to overstay my welcome. And I believe he said around 9:30, because they were waking up early for the kids.
And so after hearing this, what did you decide to do?
I said I'd better go.
About what time was it when you left the home that night?
I'm going to say it was probably around 1:30.
The last man to see Ana. I like this witness, because this trial, this jury needed to understand that Ana was really someone. And I feel like we got to meet her through this witness.
He was so passionate in his eyes and his facial expression, and you could tell being in that witness stand, even though he's done his testimony with the prosecutor prior to now, the reality of having to talk about that evening in front of others is just...
But there's nothing going wrong here.
No.
How does this play?
His body language, his facial expressions, his emotions, all said to me, he's credible, he's honest, he's telling it as he saw it, not as you want him to tell it.
But he didn't see anything wrong between Ana and Brian Walsh.
That's what gives it the authenticity. That guy is the perfect guy. Man, I want to go and hang out at like a cafe with him, talk about the books we're reading. He is an ideal witness who is authentically emotional. He's connected. He's immediately answers the questions, and you can tell it's from the heart.
And I like, again, to me, it's the humanization of Ana, making this very real for the jury, that this is a mom, this is a wonderful woman. I mean, just what she wrote on the...
Vibrant. You could get from that message from the champagne bottle box of just vibrancy, and she's excited for the next year. I think it was a great win for the prosecution, because, yes, it humanized her, but more importantly, it kind of put a context to that evening and the evilness of Mr.
Well,
Walsh.
what the defense is going to say, though, is that, listen, everything is fine. And if there was something wrong, he would have picked up on it, because they're saying she dies. This is just before she dies.
Doesn't matter.
Well, the defense has to say that. Are they going to say, you can tell there was something going on?
Will a juror be persuaded by that at all?
Either that, or they can lean in if they're going to go with, depending on what their theoretical cause of death is, and say, yeah, and there was nothing wrong. You didn't sense any anger or distrust or problems between these two. It was a perfectly lovely evening. And that can feed into, and then I showed up later on and she was dead in the bed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good argument.
No, but I think it's the arguments they're going to make. None of the arguments they're making are good. None of them I don't think are good.
Yeah, I'm Google searching.
This is the 31st. Let's go back to December 29th now. This is Alyssa Kirby, who is best friends with Ana. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
She was really upset. She was kind of breaking down because everything had been really hard, which Ana was always a very strong person, so that was very unusual for her. And she was just really upset about so much. She had really hit a breaking point. And yeah, we talked about a lot of things because she was so upset.
Ms. Kirby, can you tell me what she was upset about?
She was primarily upset about her and Brian's relationship, about being so far away from the kids, and feeling like she was upset having found out that the federal case was delayed, or she thought that the federal case was delayed by Brian and that she just really wanted to be with her kids. Their marriage had been really strained for a long time, and she told me how like upset she was and how frustrating that was, and how she was really at a breaking point. She was upset because she wanted him to take responsibility. She wanted their family together. She wanted that whole process to be over, and she wanted him to be responsible, be accountable, and do whatever he had to do to keep their family together.
And what did she mean? What did she tell you that she meant by the word responsibility?
Yeah, at that point in time, responsibility was potentially just taking jail time.
So Ana, again, is traveling to D.C. to work, and she's making the money. He's on house arrest.
She's wife of the year as far as I'm concerned, and I've seen spouses of both sexes deal with people facing criminal charges. You've got someone who wants to persevere, who wants you to take accountability and have your bit of medicine.
She does have a boyfriend down in D.C., by the way. Just
hey,
let's not forget that fact.
So because of that, I'm mad, and I'm going to get even, and I'm tired of her telling me what to do. That's what I hear.
And you know there was a lot of strain going on. I mean, that's evident from these witnesses, from his federal financial issues that he had at the time. And I'm sure she was just fed up. Yeah. He was fed up, too, because he had that leash on him.
He's not allowed to leave, but it was inevitable. You're not escaping federal prison.
You are not.
You've got to do your time.
It's a slow, painful journey, but you're going to go on it.
But here's the problem. He can't leave the house. He's on house arrest. She's spending all her time in D.C. D.C. is where the family's going to move to because that's where the main breadwinner is, and that's where the member of the household who isn't a felon is living and involved in a very good job, a great position.
He saw the writing on the wall, and obviously he snapped.
Yeah, I started to say he snapped.
Yeah.
It was New Year's Eve.
Yes.
I see her with this person she probably has a crush on, and I can't take it anymore.
And it's not like they can make the argument that he's got her trapped for finances. No, she's got a great job. She's going to get the kids in the divorce because dad's a federal felon. Like, she's got a pretty good thing going on. And that, again, leads to how does she die? Where's the good answer? Because he's the one with all the reasons.
Right, and the bottom line is, right, if he goes to federal prison, she moves to D.C., when he eventually gets out of prison and starts fighting for custody, he's going to have to go down to D.C.
Correct.
And you don't want to fight a divorce from behind a federal wall.
You're not going to win that.
You ain't winning. It's going to be extra hard.
So, but this is the thing, right? And I guess you can't get inside the mind of an alleged killer, is that the circumstance he's in now is so much worse. You're not going to get your kids. You've been in jail, and you're likely never getting out. And you have basically orphaned your children.
He snapped. He didn't think about the kids. I'm going to get even with her.
So you think it's like us?
I do. I think he was, I've had it, and now I'm exploding.
No rational person takes these risks knowingly and with no, this is the perfect case of
how does it happen right after a night like
violence.
It seemed like it was a pleasant night.
It escalated, the alcohol. Come on, how many times have we seen people all happy, drunk, and all of a sudden...
Look how he's got it all together and how he's got everything going. We've got the world's most interesting Sean Connery impersonator coming by for dinner, having amazing conversation, treats the kids so great, and then dad, wow, you may be going to federal prison this year while I'm off in D.C. earning 4 times the amount of money you do?
And you'll earn less when you're incarcerated.
Yes,
he didn't really have a job. Somehow he was scraping together money. I don't know if he was selling.
Fraud is a job.
Yeah, it is. All right. Stay right there, folks. Karen Reed back in the news when we return.
Now, back to the Court TV podcast.
All right, folks, time for a crossword puzzle. Take a look at your screens. It's 2 words, 15 letters, 1 down. Here is your clue. Damage observed on defendant's vehicle. Damage observed on defendant's vehicle. Think about it for a second. Time for a clue. There's a brand new crossword puzzle book that is for sale, folks. Take a look. Puzzles for adults, seniors, and teens. It is the Karen Reed crossword puzzle. Yeah, really does make a great Christmas gift, apparently. This thing is for sale. Plus, you've also got the Canton Cover-Up coloring books, volumes 1 and 2, coming from Pissarro Asylum Press. The crossword puzzle from FKR Puzzle Books. Interesting, right? Interesting that this is all happening. Welcome back. Think Tank's still with us. Can you guys solve the puzzle here?
Is that the same publishing group that Chad Daybell used? Because he was a prolific author as well, and I love good publishing.
I'm wondering.
Do you want to buy a vowel, or you want to solve the puzzle?
I have a question, and my question is, does an unlimited number of taillights come with that puzzle?
Oh, all right. 15 letters, 2 words. What is it?
Broken
Yeah.
taillight.
Louder.
Broken taillight.
Correct, May.
Yes, I win.
May takes the prize.
Turn the letters.
There it is. Is she a hero?
No.
Not to me.
Hero's a pretty aggressive word. She's been mistreated by a lot of people, but arguably was involved in a really unsettled incident, and I don't think had the best calls during all of the allegations. So
Drank a little too much.
I think she's a very fortunate woman that she was where she was in that courtroom, and she had so many people, Turtle Boy and the crew, all in her corner. I think she was very fortunate.
Okay, now if you want a more expensive gift for the holidays connected to Karen Reed, take a look at this. We've got photos of Karen Reed's SUV repaired by JB Auto Care up in North Weymouth, and they headed to auction now. Headed to auction. This is from the Patriot Ledger. And look at that. Tail light is brand spanking new. It's been fixed. Interior's been redone very well. Will someone buy this? Now, this particular SUV, there it is. There's the tail light. If it was just a regular SUV, $50,000 to $60,000. Yeah. How much do you think someone will pay for this? And who would buy this, and for what purpose is what I'm trying to figure out at auction. Thoughts?
I would say it's a DGQ.
What's that?
Darn good question. Who would buy it? But there will be someone to buy it. And what he or she
There's
is
like
gonna
true
pay.
crime museums.
Yeah, somebody's going to buy it simply for the novelty, future investment value of a Karen Reed museum or something like that.
That's a good idea. I didn't
But
think
you
of
know
that.
what you can do? You can have it at the local fair, and whoever puts out the taillight first is going to be the winner.
Maybe we can
have more.
We can have a carny game about who can back up the car and just barely tap someone or something.
So here's the question: is she's found not guilty? There's still a wrongful death suit pending. She could be found liable. Is any of this in poor taste, or is she entitled to sell her car involved in a case where she was found not guilty?
I wonder if she still owns the vehicle, or if whether it got forfeited, given up during, because it's been on hold and impound for a long time. If it was financed or something like that, you've exited
There
that
were
contract.
rodents that were nesting inside
saw
of it.
that
And we
picture.
have taken away their place of abode.
Yeah, the rats
Not
were,
good.
the rats were pissed.
Is it poor taste? I think it's in very poor taste. But do I think someone's going to buy it? You bet he or she will. And for what reason? Who knows?
Well, there's crime. There's one in Tennessee. There's a true crime museum people go to. They've seen things. The Bronco years ago was
you get
purchased.
good money for a white
didn't
Bronco,
drive a
right?
Bronco.
See, I wonder what they stamp on the title. Like if you get like a special, this vehicle was part of Norfolk DA's office.
You want you want it authenticated?
No,
Absolutely.
I want a nice display piece to go along with it if I'm going to drive the famous SUV.
And there has to be someone there who's a notary public to make sure that your signature is authentic.
Now, should it be retained for the civil cases as evidence?
Nah, it's
Doesn't that jury want to see it?
Kinds of tainted.
They would want to see it, but I think photographic evidence is more than enough.
Yep, no big deal on that one.
There's not going to be any view.
No, and you could just get a similar one, and that would be the judgment.
Not that easy to get a similar one, by the way. During the course of the trial, we tried to find one because we wanted to take some measurements, etc. and it was virtually impossible. It's a rare one. You see a lot of Lexus SUVs on the roadways, not this particular model. This was the most expensive one.
That's a really fancy trim line.
Does it go for more than a normal one or less?
I was about to say, this may be the most famous of that model, and someone smart could probably market it as such.
Because murder houses go for less.
Because someone died.
It depends.
Someone died.
Yeah.
But some people may still believe that this was used to take the life of a Boston police officer.
Well, I do think some people are going to think
Do you think
that.
someone might purchase it to destroy it?
I think someone might purchase it because he or she believes it was used to kill a Boston police officer or was wrongfully accused, being driven by Karen Reed, of killing a Boston police officer. I think that he or she will buy it because of or in spite of, but it'll be sold.
Yeah, any notoriety is going to increase value because it's going to increase demand. The idea that it sells for less than a similarly situated vehicle...
So this could be $100,000.
I doubt it, but it'll be more than
You never
your
know.
normal...
What do you do? If it's not in a museum, is there any other potential use for this?
Yeah, you drive it.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it's a
really nice SUV, man. That is a great vehicle. You could probably...
If you drive and you buy it, don't you know you're going to be bothered all the time?
But if you change the color and hey, my SUV has a history. What about yours? I don't know. You probably just have a boring vehicle.
I have Karen Reed's SUV.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of would drive around and get a special license plate. I'd probably get it wrapped. Something nice.
Josh Schiffer, Meg Strickler, Daryl Cohen.
Reed is ready.
Thank you so much. All right. When we come back, I will reveal something else you need to know tonight, plus coming up next hour.
Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates, a quiet stretch of Long Island's coastline, home to sun, sand, and a trail of death. The accused Gilgo Beach, Long Island serial killer has been arrested, but now a second suspect connected to two bodies is also facing charges. What does this reveal? Tonight, we investigate.
This is the Court TV Podcast.
Welcome back. Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. What do we have for you this evening? A reckless ride. We're talking about an 18-year-old YouTube, social media daredevil named Samuel Campbell, who was arrested and charged with one count of reckless driving. Yeah, that's him in his motorcycle in the air, flying over a public road in Gilbert, Arizona. The video went viral. That's the good news. Woo! The bad news is he got arrested for it. Wow. Scary, dangerous, and illegal. But I'm sure he got a whole bunch of clicks. All right, folks, take a look at your television screens. We have a child who needs your help, who is missing. This is Fabio Corona, just 15 years old. Fabio missing from Garland, Texas, since the 7th of December. If you see Fabio, pick up the phone, make a call, make a difference. 911, 1-800-THE-LOST. Or you can call the Garland Police Department in Texas. That number's on your screen right now. Let's see if we can get Fabio to a safe place tonight. Don't go anywhere. We have another hour of live true crime. Vinnie Politan Investigates is next. In the meantime, please don't forget to hug the kids.
There you have it. If you want to see more in-depth reporting on the latest true crime stories, you can see me every weeknight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Closing Arguments. Thank you so much for downloading. And as always, please don't forget to hug the kids.
This podcast is a production of Court TV. Go to CourtTV.com for more content, trials on demand, and to find out how to watch Court TV in your area.